Good work. Good work. Hi.
Ooh, what did you- Oh, it's not- Hello, everybody, and welcome to Coffee and Popcorn. I'm here with my friend Jake, and today we're talking about Only Murders in the Building. It's on what is it? Hulu. You can watch it on Hulu. Do they have a different in New Zealand? Is it called something different?
Nah, we have Hulu too. Yeah, we have Hulu.
So you have the American version Hulu
Yeah.
or something like that, kind of, sort of, something like that.
We have Hulu, but it's like I think the international version, or like Netflix has different shows in different regions.
Yeah.
But you can definitely watch it on Hulu in New Zealand. There may be other places you can watch it in New Zealand. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Gotcha. I just sent you the link to YouTube, by the way.
I've got
on Messenger.
Facebook. I'm sharing the Facebook to my page now.
Yeah, so you can share it out. If you guys are in the comments, come say hi. We're talking about Only Murders in the Building. How you doing tonight, Jake?
I'm doing so good. I just had a campaign photo shoot for my political campaign this morning, and it went really well.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I'm really excited for those photos to come out. Yeah, I think it's going to look really good. And we've got some like professional style pics of me in a suit. And we've got some more relaxed shots like on the beach with the surfboard. So I'm really excited for that all to come out. You can follow me on Instagram at RealJakeLaw, and you can see some of my like behind the scenes pics I've put up on my story. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the pics, the pictures when you view them. I can't wait to see them. They're gonna look really, really nice.
Okay, so yeah, I think it will be really good.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's going to be good because all of those pictures we can use for like my website and some of the like promotional materials. So it's going to be good to have. Yeah.
If I lived in New Zealand, I would definitely vote for you.
Well, yeah, you can't just like exist and expect people to vote for you. You actually have to like really go out and work hard and earn people's vote, especially in New Zealand, because like people are quite relaxed here, but at the same time, they want to have someone that they can trust to do the job properly. So I have to show that I'm effective and that I'm, worthy of having faith in me and voting for me, and that I'm really here to represent my community and get the best solutions for some issues. So I'm so excited though, because I'm like, one of my talents is I'm a people person and I know how to reach people, and I think I'm quite good. I like to think I'm quite good at talking to people. So I'm excited for our campaign. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited for you, and I can't wait to see what the future has in store for you.
It's interesting because I've had a lot of Americans reach out to me and really supportive of my campaign, which has shocked me because it's like you think New Zealand doesn't get much attention.
Right.
But I do have like, I guess, people who know me through my Disney vlogs and stuff, who are Americans. And they're also like, I had some women who are involved in politics in Florida reach out to me to like just give me some advice and support. So that's been so cool. Yeah.
That's awesome. So what did you think of the show, The Only Murders in the Building? What did you think of it?
Okay, I love this show, and I've been really excited for us to talk about this because, and I just love that it's a show about a podcast, because we're doing a podcast about a show about a podcast. I don't know, there's something metaphysical about it.
Right, yeah. I liked the show. I thought it was an interesting concept, and I was surprised because actually this is like the first like show that I've seen Selena Gomez like cursing, and I was like, she's cursing. I've never heard her curse before.
Did she curse in this show?
Yeah, she did.
I guess she has like a Disney image, right? So it's exciting to see her like move away from that kind of Disney image and
Right.
do something which is a lot more, I guess, like adult or like veering away from the typical kind of Selena Gomez that we're used to. I know some of her music is a bit more edgy as well, right?
Yes. Yes. And I just thought it was like interesting to just like, just like see her in a different like kind of like light, I guess you can say.
Yeah, that's
And I just watched a show. I just watched another movie that she's in called Before They Were Dead or something like that.
I don't think I've seen that. What is that, like a horror movie?
Yeah, it's a horror movie.
That sounds
cool. And yeah, and so she was in there as well, and it was just like really, really interesting to see her in like a horror movie. But I do really like her as well. It was just interesting to see people. I see you popped on.
Yeah.
And I just and it's just an interesting show too. And Martin Sheen and Martin Short and what's his name? Steve
Martin?
Steve Martin. Yeah, Steve Martin. They're good together. I don't know why I couldn't think of his name. And I know him.
Yeah.
Because I grew up with both of them.
Good.
What?
The acting in the show was so good.
Yeah, it was.
And I think like one of the things that really deserves mentioning is they have a whole episode which is silent, dedicated to death.
Right.
Deaf awareness. And there's a character in the show who is deaf, and so you like watch this whole episode from his perspective.
Right.
I thought that was really powerful, sends a powerful message, and spreads awareness to the deaf community. That meant a lot to me, like as someone who belongs to like a minority group, to see more awareness for like the deaf community. Yeah, right. I found that really exciting. And it also like made me feel like it was kind of like an ode to silent film and silent movies as well, which was really cool.
Yeah. Right, yeah. It's kind of cool to see like different different actors on the show and how they're from different walks of life and everything as well.
Yeah. It's cool to see like a pop star like Selena Gomez make a shift into like acting. I know Lady Gaga did that really successfully. She was really good in American Horror Story season 5. I don't think that was the best season of American Horror Story, but I do think her acting was really good. Hi, Michael.
And yeah, she did pretty good. Matt Bomer was in that season as well, or however you say his name.
Yeah, he's so handsome. Ooh.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. He was good in Magic Mike.
Oh my god, I forgot he was in that. Okay, yeah.
The first one.
It's been a long time since I've seen that.
He was in the first Magic Mike movie.
Should we do like an overview of what Only Murders in the Building is about, just for people that may not be as familiar?
Yeah, we can do that. We can do that. Yeah.
So, Only Murders in the Building is a show about this fancy apartment building in New York City, and it's called. Do you remember what it's called?
I don't.
Anyway, it's a fancy name for a fancy rich people building. And basically there's like a murder or a suicide that happens in the beginning of the show. And the characters are all obsessed with murder mystery podcasts. And they like all live in that building. So like by happenstance, they all connect with each other because they're all passionate about podcasts and murder mysteries. And then all of them start thinking that the suicide is actually a murder that's been set up. And so like they all meet because of their combined interests and passions in podcasts and murder mysteries. And so they decide to make a podcast about what they think is a murder mystery called Only Murders in the Building. And the show has a lot of dark humor. I would say it's a comedy, dark comedy type of show. But it's really well acted. It's really well written. There's a lot of like cliffhangers and like gasp moments.
Yes, there
that,
is.
Like, leave you hooked. Yeah, and just when you think you know who it is, there's like a whole nother thing that pops up. And yeah.
Hi, Jen. Have a good time at Disney. They're at Disney World.
Tell Ethan I said hi. Oh, so jealous. Oh my goodness. Have fun.
They're at Disney World right now. Yeah.
Really? I've always wanted to go.
Well, I told you you're coming down.
Oh, we're planning on coming, but it's just about waiting for the right moment with like restrictions and travel stuff. Yeah.
Let me know.
Me and one of my best friends, Sam, we're planning on coming, and she actually did that university exchange where you can work at Disney World.
Oh yeah.
So she's actually got a lot of experience, and she knows Florida and Disney World really well. But
so
obviously she hasn't. Yeah. So it'll be exciting to go with her and hopefully meet you and some of the people who like are our supporters. I'm so excited. Yeah.
Of course. Katie, then come bring me and I'll bring you guys. Okay.
Yes, Jen, we are gonna all meet. I think like when I come to Florida, it's gonna be like we'll have to like catch up with all of the people we know. Like David Picciano and his wife. Sorry if I didn't say the name correctly.
No, you said it right.
Yeah. And we have a lot of friends in Florida and people who love Disney World. So when when me and Sam come, I can't wait to meet all of you.
Well, everybody on here knows that I'm a huge Disney fan. So if I get off topic, oh well.
Yeah, if you don't know me and you're new to me as well, I lived in Shanghai for 3 years, and I have been making Shanghai Disneyland vlogs. And I'm still uploading different Shanghai Disneyland vlogs, even though I'm back in New Zealand now. But I'm really passionate about Disney and Disney Shanghai. So yeah, check out my channel on YouTube. It's called Jake's Journeys. And you can see my vlogs there.
I'll link it on Facebook so you guys can find
Jake. Yeah, thanks. Yeah. But let's get back to talking about Only Murders in the Building.
Yeah. And that one scene with Selena covered in blood, I was like, that's an interesting scene, and I didn't think she was going to be covered all in blood. And then
they drop you into that right in the beginning. It's like, oh, just when you thought it was like a light, fluffy kind of show, it's like, bam, Selena Gomez covered in blood.
Right? Yeah, I was like, what's going on? You know. And Jen saying Shanghai is on the bucket list trip for me. I'll definitely check it out.
Oh my gosh, Jen, you would love Shanghai Disneyland. I remember I met some Americans who were at, because a lot of Americans will travel to Shanghai just to go to Shanghai Disneyland. So worth it, because you can also like go to Tokyo Disney and
that's
you
Jen
can go to
too.
Hong Kong Disney, which is all nearby. And I met some Americans at Shanghai Disney, and I was like, "What do you think?" And they were like, "Oh my god, we love it. You know, we wish there were some of these elements in the domestic parks." But I think like one of the issues is like a lot of people are anti-China, which I totally understand. So their perception of Shanghai Disneyland is kind of affected by their perception of China. But I challenge you to be open-minded and like go into Shanghai Disneyland with a really open mind about it potentially being amazing. Because there are some really amazing things about the park, and it's the biggest castle park in the world, which is actually quite amazing. Not a lot of people know that.
Maybe one time when you have time, we'll do a whole Shanghai Disneyland episode. That way they can.
Yeah, I would love to talk about it. Yeah, I have talked about it with
David.
I've talked about it with David, and I've talked about it with Stan. You know Stan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But always happy to talk about it. Would love to. Yeah.
Yeah, because I want to know more. That's what she said. She said, now let's get back to topic after throwing us off topic.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Jen. I'll be sending you a bill later.
I love you, Jen.
I'll be calling my lawyer.
It's all good. No, everybody knows I get off topic, so it's okay. So
I
yeah,
mean, it's a natural flow of conversation. Some people like to hear that too. Yeah.
right.
But
It's
let's
just a
get back
sidebar.
to
It's just a,
only
we'll just
murders in
backstay.
the building.
And so I also really like Martin Short's character because he kind of like, I don't know, his character's kind of wild. I think it's okay, Jen. I love you. It's okay.
It was totally worth it, Jen.
Yeah. Um.
Yeah, his character is pretty wild. I love that kind of haphazard, like all over the place, like kind of
Right.
like you see him like running down hallways, going like ooh. At one
Right.
point, he's like pushing a pram for some reason and screaming, and it's just like absurd, but like crazy, but so much fun. I
Right.
think like Martin Short is like the perfect actor for that character. I actually thought he was playing a gay character at first.
Right.
But then I realized he's one of those like metrosexual straight guys who is like involved in the like arts and theater scene.
Right.
So that's kind of why he has that flamboyance, but he's actually got a son and I guess ex-wife. That's never really fully explained. But one thing I really love about the show is that it has Tina Fey. And I've been a huge fan of Tina Fey ever since she wrote and starred in Mean Girls.
Oh, I love Tina Fey, and I love Mean Girls.
She's the reason Mean Girls is so iconic and quotable.
Right.
Oh my God, Danny DeVito, I love your work.
Yeah. I love her in Mean Girls. She wrote that show, that movie.
I'm a pusher, Katie. I'm a pusher. I push people.
And don't forget, on Wednesdays we wear pink.
Yeah. Is on butter that show. A carb? So many iconic quotes. And she wrote it. That's why it's so funny and so good. And
didn't she also write 30 Rock too?
Yeah, and she acted in that as well.
Yeah.
She's so funny. And I don't know if she wrote Only Murders in the Building. Is she involved on the writing crew of that?
I don't know. That I do not know.
I wouldn't be surprised if she was, because you can definitely see something which looks like her humor involved in the show. Let me look it up.
Yeah, I don't know. That's the beauty of being live, people. You can look stuff up. But I'm not sure if she did or not. But it was just interesting, her playing a detective. I guess she's like a detective. I couldn't really figure it out what she was, but it was interesting.
So the show was created by Steve Martin and John Hoffman.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I knew Steve Martin.
Steve Martin may have written. Let me just see development.
Do you think they'll come out with the season 2 for it?
Oh yeah, there's 100% going to be a season 2. It got 100% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes, which is really rare.
Right. Yeah, Rotten Tomatoes is hard to get like a good review like that.
But like if you see something that high in the 90s like that on Rotten Tomatoes, you know this is a good show.
Right.
Like you don't need Although Metacritic gave it 76 out of 100, but it's based on less reviews. So I actually would trust the Rotten Tomatoes review because there's 72 critic reviews on Rotten Tomatoes and only 34 on Metacritic.
Right.
But yeah, I would say it's definitely worth your while. If you love comedy, if you love dark humor, if you love murder mysteries, it's such a good show.
Right. Like, Go ahead. Say what you're going to say.
I was like excited for the show every week when it came out.
Right. Me too. I was like, oh man, it's not one of those shows I could binge watch. I thought it was a show I could binge watch, and I was like, oh man, I have to wait every week. A lot of platforms are starting to do that.
Yeah, I'm looking at the writers. It isn't written by Tina Fey, but it is written by Steve Martin. The first episode was written by Steve Martin.
Yeah, he's
interesting. Yeah, you have a lot of different writers on different episodes, which is really cool. That they must have been working like a big team working together.
That's usually what happens. Is like they have like on movies and shows, they have like the main writer, so they have the main writer, and then they have the writer's assistants and stuff like that.
Well, it looks like they've split the main writers because almost every episode has a different writer or writing team, apart from John Hoffman, who writes the last 2 episodes and the first episode. So I guess he's technically the main writer. But it's also got a lot of female writers and directors, which I really like to see more women in those kind of important positions.
Yeah, I'm with you, Jen. I get impatient too. I rather binge watch everything because it's just easier for me just to binge watch it than wait every week. Like the new Disney Plus Dookie Howser show. I have to wait every week, every Wednesday for a new episode. And I'm like, no, I want to binge watch it. I don't want
like I want it now. Please give it to me now.
Right. And that's what I did with this show because this show was so good. I just wanted to like watch it like I just wanted to binge watch it. Now I can binge watch it.
I love binge watching shows. Have you seen the whole show? Like, have you watched the final and everything?
Yes. The final actually surprised me. The ending actually surprised me.
I found the ending really exciting because like it goes back to that scene that it actually shows you at the beginning of the show. And I actually forgot about that scene. I actually forgot. So when they showed it at the end, I was so shook. I was like hanging off the edge of my seat. I was like, oh, and it was a lot. And then
it surprised me
where Tina Fey goes, coming up next on season 2, only murderers in the building. And oh my God, it's so good. Yes, Jen, it's so important. It's so important to have women.
Jen's agreeing with you. I think like I think like because I'm more for like everybody that knows me knows I'm for women power, and I just want us women need to come together and be nice to each other and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? And I think women can do it just as much as men. Just because we're women doesn't mean anything, and we can bring a different perspective than men can sometimes. That's why I like women.
To be honest, men are always going to be in these positions, but right now it's like majority men, and like Hollywood is like 80 to 90, maybe not that high, like 80% male directed and male written. So just having more women involved, it's never going to threaten men. It's just about having like recognition for, hey, there are women who do these jobs at a really high level and they deserve to be recognized. And some of these directors like Chloe Zhao, who directed Eternals, are so amazing.
Did you see Nomadland with her?
I haven't seen Nomadland or Eternals, actually.
I haven't seen Eternals. It's in the States in the movie theater now, but I haven't seen Eternals, but I saw Nomadland. Jake, you have to watch Nomadland. It is so good.
I'll check it out. Yeah, I'm sure.
Do you know what it's about? Do you know what it's about? So it's basically about this lady, and they call her a nomad because she doesn't have anywhere to live. So she basically lives out of her van, and they call them nomads. And there's like other people that are nomads and stuff. But it's a really good and beautifully like crafted movie.
It sounds really good. Yeah, I would like to watch it.
When you watch it, let me know because I want to know your thoughts on it.
Yeah.
And I think that movie did win an Academy Award.
I think I remember hearing it win something. Yeah.
Yeah, it won. But I also liked Steve Martin's character in this show too, and I was like surprised to find out who his girlfriend was. I'm not going to give it away. But I was surprised to find out who his girlfriend was in the show. I was like, oh my gosh, because I thought she was like sweet and innocent.
Well, no spoilers, but just him having a girlfriend in the show was not something I expected in the beginning. And it's interesting because like all of the characters in the show are complex. Like people are not simple in real life. And people are not necessarily purely good or purely bad either. That's just not how life works. People are complex. like good
Right.
people do bad things and bad people do good things.
Right.
Life is like, it's not usually black and white. So one thing I
Right.
really love about this show is it shows you that good characters can make mistakes and do bad things. It
Right.
also shows you that like bad people or bad characters can do good things, and there's character development and change. And even in the space of the 10 episodes, we see all of the characters develop.
Mhm.
And I think that's really rewarding, because when you finish the show, you have a sense of progress, even though like the show does not finish how you would expect. It's not predictable. The characters all progress to a point
Uh-oh,
where,
Jake, what did you do?
oh, can
I
you
heard
hear the sirens in the
it. Yeah.
background?
Yeah. They're
Yeah,
after you,
my
Jake.
stepfather is an ex-cop as well, so if anyone's going to arrest me, it will be him.
I'm only kidding. But finish what you were saying.
I was just saying that one of the best things about the show Only Murders in the Building is how unpredictable it is. There's a lot of like predictability in like Hollywood films. I think I was watching something recently which was like Godzilla versus King Kong or something, and it was just like I knew where the show was going from the beginning, and it was just predictable. And so like there wasn't really much enjoyment in watching it, because I just felt like it was like, it didn't excite me, because it was like, oh well, this is what I thought would happen, so it's happening.
Right.
You know?
Well, this
But
show
some
was
people
not that predictable.
Yeah, no, there was nothing predictable about the show. I mean, there was stuff that like, you know, these characters well, and the characters stay true to themselves, which I think is really nice. There's a comfort in that. But then in terms of like their progress through the mystery and trying to solve the murder is really unpredictable, and there's like a lot of exciting and like unexpected stuff that pops up. I think one of my favorite scenes is like, because all of the murder potential suspects are people who live in the Arconia, which is the name of the building that they all live in. And there's some really interesting characters that live in the building, which I think make it exciting. And there's this guy who like is obsessed with his cat, and his cat passes away, and the residents of the building are more upset about the death of the cat than they are about the actual death of the
person,
one of the main characters in the beginning of which is kind of funny. But there's a scene where like Steve Martin finds the cat in the fridge, frozen in the freezer, and I think he like, the cat is a suspect, or like part of a suspect, because the cat appeared in the apartment of the dead character. So I think like Steve Martin's character is like trying to move the cat, and he accidentally like snaps off a leg out of the freezer. He was carrying around this like frozen cat leg for that whole episode. I don't know. It's just silly little things like that really make the show special.
Yeah. That's what I think too. It just was like one of those shows where you don't know what's exactly going to happen, and then you're like, oh my god, that really just happened, you know? And and I really like some of the like, because that's like downtown New York where they're at, and that's how like some people are in New York. They're like those people, they only connect with like the people in the building. Hi, Dwayne. They only connect with the people in the building in New York. And so I just found that interesting that they all just like connect with each other in the building.
Yeah.
And how somehow they were all connected some way or some shape or form.
Yeah. I love how it all ties in together. There's this kind of like, at the outset it seems really random, but then like as it goes along, you uncover how all these people are connected in unexpected ways. And what's really interesting is like the progression of the podcast as well. And I think one of my favorite things is there's a part where the characters who running the podcast realize that they have fans. And the fans are like camped outside the Arconia on like little portable chairs waiting for them to come out.
Right.
And I just love that. This, I don't know, just things like you don't expect to happen.
Right,
'Cause
and
it's
it
like
does happen.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the
And I just
fans
found,
themselves are, yeah, just really funny and interesting.
yeah, the fans are pretty cool too. Um, and I just find it interesting that the fans are like, oh, I like your podcast and stuff like that, and they're just coming right up to them and stuff like that. I find it interesting. Hey, if somebody
'Cause in
came
the
up and
beginning,
recognized,
in the
if
beginning, they have like one listener, I think.
yeah, they
Or like,
did.
yeah.
And if somebody
So
came up to me, I'd be like, hey, I think it would be weird at first, but I'd be like, hey, if somebody recognized me off the street or something,
well, if you keep going with your podcast and your live streaming and YouTube, eventually you will have people like I've had people when I was in Shanghai who, and I never expected this, came up to me and they were like, I've seen your vlog on Shanghai Disneyland. And I was like,
Right.
oh, didn't expect that. But it's a nice
Right.
way to connect with
I don't know,
people.
but
And
I don't, because I don't know how I would feel about it though. Like, because I'm the opposite of what I am, and if I don't know somebody, I'm very quiet towards the person. If I know you, okay, it's different, but this is a different setting because I know most of the people that are watching. So for me it's a different like setting. Like if I'm in a room like with nobody that I don't know, I'm going to be the complete opposite. I'm going to be quiet. So I don't know how I would react to somebody seeing me like they reacted, how their like podcast people, their podcast fans reacted. I don't know how I would react to it. I'd say hi. I wouldn't be rude, but But yeah, I
think it's one of those things like most of the time people are really nice though. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just like excited to meet you because they've seen you before, or like someone will be like, I think I recognize you. And I'll be like,
right.
Do you watch vlogs on YouTube? And they'll be like, oh, yeah.
Right. Yeah. But what was your favorite episode?
I think my favorite episode of the show was maybe the deaf awareness episode that was silent. Although being someone who's used to hearing spoken voice, there were at times where I found it, I was feeling like I was impatient. But then I felt like that really challenged me because I'm like, no, this is what deaf people experience every day. So the least I can do is spend an hour of my life in their shoes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think everybody should. This episode reminded me like you should put yourself in somebody else's shoes sometimes, because you don't know what they're going through or what kind of problems they have or what they're going through in their life. So if you don't really know what's going on, that's why I like that episode as well. It was like one of those episodes where I just put myself in their shoes.
Yeah. And I would always hope that people would put themselves in my shoes because I've kind of grown up and I've been bullied and rejected and things just for being gay. So, yeah.
Well, I'm not gay, but you know what I mean, though. I've been bullied because I have a learning disability and stuff like that. So I was bullied a lot in school, or as I got older, people didn't like the way my teeth were or something like that. So I understand that, but I understand also where you're going from because, as one of my friends, I have a lot of gay friends and you're one of them. And if I see something on social media or somebody says something to you, I'm going to go off on them.
Well, the thing is, like, ever since I'm like, the more like proud and confident I've become, the less likely it is for someone to like make a comment. I think when I was really shy and like uncomfortable and felt shameful about it, people found it easier to target me then. Yeah. I think like when I first started my YouTube channel, I had someone who came on and said like, you're gay. And I just replied to the comment and I said, yes, I am.
Right.
So, wow.
Right. But this show also I think everybody can learn a little bit about the show, like not to judge a book by its cover as well.
That's right.
And that's what and that's what I liked about the show, is everybody can just enjoy it and not judge everybody for their character or what they're doing or whatever.
100%. Yeah. So, but I do think like one of the things the show does really well is it like shows you the struggles of different people, and as I said, like characters are complex, so like you can kind of see like the vulnerabilities of all the characters, and I think that makes them relatable.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what was your favorite episode?
My favorite episode was the last episode because it like brought all the episodes together. And I just like how the director was doing it. Hi, Esther. I think that's Esther.
Hi, Esther.
And I just like how I don't know, it's not popping up for some reason. My phone, it's been weird lately on Facebook. Wait, this show also I think everybody can learn. Everybody can learn a little bit, of everything, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know whose comment that was.
That was me.
That's your comment.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, whose comment is that?
It shows up on StreamYard as Facebook user, but I think on Facebook it shows up with my name.
It does. Yeah. It's because you have to go out and go on the link. That's why. But it's okay. And also, like, all these characters are complex, and it's just interesting to see Selena Gomez with like two like movie like legends, two show or movie like legends, Martin Short and Stephen Martin, and it's like interesting to see her with them.
Yeah, because it's like she's with two really experienced, amazing actors, and she holds her ground. Yeah.
Jennifer saying it always happens on Facebook.
Yes, Facebook user. Sounds like Florida Man. Have you heard of Florida Man?
No, what's that?
Like in Florida, they always have the news about like Florida Man does this, Florida Man does that, and like.
Oh well, don't forget, I live in Florida, but they
always say Florida Man because they're talking about a man from Florida has done X, Y, or Z. But then someone online have created this person called Florida Man.
Jennifer saying
like
yes.
Yeah.
It's so probably because they tell in Facebook Florida they probably in Florida tells who the person is, so that's why. On our news it tells who the person is.
If I was going to do drag, my drag name would be Facebook user.
That's funny.
Okay. We need to talk about Sting.
Sting, yes.
So, watching this show, I would never have expected that Sting, the rock legend, would be in this show.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought that either. I don't think he's ever been in any shows.
When they made a reference to like, oh, Sting lives in the penthouse apartment on the 6th floor or whatever, I was like, oh yeah, whatever, Sting. And then like literally you meet Sting in the show and Sting is a murder suspect. Oh my God, it's so well done. The episode with Sting is really funny as well because I don't know, Sting has this like assistant who's like, you may speak with Sting now. I don't know.
Right.
I love it. It's so funny. And
yeah, it is.
I don't know.
I liked that episode too. It was funny.
You would never expect to see Sting, like, because Selena Gomez, you've already got like a pop star celebrity in the show,
right?
So you would never expect to see someone else like Sting. Like, anyway,
right?
That was unexpected. Yeah, someone is watching.
That's Esther.
Hey Esther, how are you?
Yeah, and but I think one of them is friends with Sting. I think Martin Short or Steve Martin's friends with Sting, so that's probably why he was in the episode.
Sense, yeah, that would make sense.
Because don't forget, Esther's saying she's good.
I'm glad you're well, Esther. Yes.
Because don't forget, Steve Martin and Martin Short are really good friends as well, in real life. Because if you look at their chemistry on like even different movies that they've done together, if you look at their chemistry together, you could just tell that they're like buds and they hang out a lot.
Well, this is not the first thing they've done together, eh?
No. They did that movie Jungle to Jungle together, I think it's called. I think that's what it's called. I forget what the name of it's called, but one of them I don't know. I forget what it's called, but they're in a lot of each other's movies though.
Yeah, I think that they have a really good chemistry, and I just really love Steve Martin's character, how he was playing this guy who's like an ex-television star, where he was basically a star of a show which was like, was it like a police detective show? I'm just trying to remember the name of the show because they keep talking about it in Only Murders in the Building all the time.
I forget what the name of the show was, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But like he has this whole like backstory of being this television actor. So when he meets people, they always like bring up like, "Are you that guy?" Oh my god, I'm trying to remember what the name of his show is.
I forget because I didn't rewatch it before we did this episode.
Okay, so Steve Martin's character is called Charles Hayden Savage, and he's a semi-retired actor, but he was the star of a popular 1990s detective drama called Brazos. And the name Brazos, oh my god, I just crack up every time.
Right.
And I think one of my favorite things in the whole show is that his stunt double turns up in one episode. I think that's one of my favorite episodes. And his Brazos stunt double, who like, you expect his stunt double to be like this other older guy, right?
He's a younger guy.
What you don't expect is that his stunt double
yeah. I remember that.
Jane Lynch.
Yes.
Jane Lynch, the Jane Lynch. And she plays a character called Saz Pataki. And she's his former stunt double on Brazos. Oh my god, I love it.
But Jane Lynch is like taller than Steve Martin though. And it's like weird.
She's like totally different to Steve Martin. So the joke is that like she's meant to be a stunt double and people always confuse the two of them. But then she's taller and different and completely different and a woman. But like, I just think that's so hilarious. There's a joke in that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like she ends up being like a better Brazos than he is. Like she's better at the detective work and she's like more onto it and edgier. Like that's kind of the joke as well, is that like he's the actor, but she's actually more like the real character.
Yeah, she is. I forget that she was in it because I didn't recognize her at first.
Yeah, wasn't she in Glee? Wasn't she the really mean PE coach or something?
Yes, she was Sylvester in Glee, yes. She was
really good in Glee. She's
played in a lot of stuff. Did you know she actually played on Dawson's Creek? She played Pacey's mom.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know.
And
I
a couple of
Dawson's
episodes.
Creek being on TV when I was a kid, but I think I was a bit young for it.
Yeah.
She's a lesbian actress, right?
Yes, she's a lesbian. Yep, she is.
I've got a photo from my campaign shoot today. Are you excited? It's a cute photo of me and a dog.
Yeah, she.
Can you see that?
Yeah, that's cute. I love it. Yeah, you look so happy there.
Yeah, I was doing a lot of smiles. We really want like to seem and be friendly and approachable because I think that's like a reflection of how I am.
Right. But you are friendly and approachable, you know.
Well, I would like to hope so, but it's not good to like be bragging about yourself, I guess.
Did you wear makeup?
In my campaign shoot?
Yeah. Did they put on
makeup? Yeah, I've actually got a light layer of foundation on right now. I'm still wearing the same face from my campaign shoot. Does it look like I'm wearing makeup?
No. Can't even tell.
That's how good I am at it.
Did you put it on or your mom put it on?
I put it on. No, I do all that stuff. My mom would. I'm better at makeup than my mom. My mom wouldn't know what to do.
You
It's
come
mostly
do my
just
makeup,
like a little bit of concealer to get rid of these dark under eyes.
right?
Drawing in my brows a bit because they're a bit patchy, and then just
Right.
like a little bit of like eyeshadow to give my eyes depth, and some like lip balm. That's it.
Right.
I don't go crazy with it because I want to look natural.
Right.
And it's just about like enhancing the face to be more striking.
Right.
I don't want to like look like I'm wearing makeup though, because I live in a conservative community and that will never go down well.
Gotcha. But you look good though.
Thank you.
I'm not wearing any makeup today. I don't have any makeup on today.
You look great. I would have thought you were.
No, because
no filter, no makeup, no filter. Hi.
No. No. Well, a lot of my videos actually lately, I haven't been wearing makeup. It's just been myself. It's just been myself lately. Just because lately when I've been doing my videos, I've been coming home from work and then doing it. You know, so that's why. Jake, you always make me laugh. You always make me laugh.
Sorry, I'm being silly.
I'm
just excited. Yeah, I'm a high energy guy. Look out, Will. I'm on the fly.
Hey, look, I have ears.
I have. What do I have? I don't have anything here.
Oh.
No. You'll never believe this.
What do you have? Avocado.
Avocado.
You're so funny.
Is anyone even watching this?
One person is. One person is.
It's probably me. Probably my Facebook page. Okay.
I have no clue. Only one person. Now
We're
2 people.
Viewers with my avocado dance, so let's get back to it.
It's okay. It's okay.
I don't know. There's something really silly and fun about Only Murders in the Building as well. So I'm trying to encapsulate that silly, fun energy.
Right. Yeah, I liked it a lot. I mean, like, I'm actually surprised at Steve Martin because I'm so used to seeing him in funny stuff. I'm sure he's done a horror movie or like a drama before, but it was interesting to see him like not be as funny as he normally is.
He's done a lot of like family movies, which could be a little bit more serious or like a mixture of like drama, serious, funny, and silly. Yeah.
Right. But he's a well-versed actor, just like Martin Short. He's a well-versed actor too. But Martin Short's so funny, he cracks me up. You know, did you ever see him in Clifford? Have you ever seen Martin Short in that movie?
Clifford, the big red dog?
No. Clifford. He wasn't Clifford and Clifford the Big Red Dog. It's the name of this movie called Clifford.
Oh, is it not Clifford the Big Red Dog?
No.
What? Clifford?
It's like an 80s movie, I think.
Oh, okay. I only know the Big Red Dog Clifford.
And in this movie, it also has
America.
What?
You know Clifford the Big Red Dog?
Mm-hmm. We have books on it too.
Yeah, that's what I read when I was a kid. I've got another photo. Look at this.
Oh, I love it.
Don't I look silly? I'm really. That's me like cracking up. I don't know what Katie said. Oh, I was also the photographer of the shoot this morning. Is also Katie.
Oh, nice.
So I've been with all the Katies today. I'm being Katie blessed.
Right.
We are not stressed because I'm Katie blessed. So
right. One of my co-hosts on because I'm on another podcast that's on Sunday nights. It's called the Midnight Hour. One of them calls me Killer Katie. That's what he calls me.
Killer Katie, what?
Yeah, that's what he calls me. Because it's a horror podcast. But this week we're doing comedy.
But, you know, alliteration is very effective.
But he calls me Killer Katie. I saw the previews for Clifford. It looks good. It's a good movie. But in this movie, Martin Short is like... Let me see. Clifford. Let me see. In this movie, because Martin Short's kind of older. Let me see. Clifford.
Killer Katie.
Mm-hmm.
Do you kill flies?
Yeah, I kill flies.
Okay, we need to talk about this. Stop the recording. No, don't stop the recording. But hold the phone. I need to talk about something that happened to me.
What happened to you?
Awful. Okay, last night, just when I was wrapping up to go to bed, I'd done my routine. I'd lay down to rest my little head on the pillow.
Mm-hmm.
And this little fly came buzzing down like it had been waiting all day to annoy me and landed on my pillow. And I swatted at it, but it flew away onto the wall. And what followed was literally 10 minutes of me chasing this fly around my room at 12 a.m. because I was trying to be quiet because I didn't want to wake my family. And I opened my bedroom door and I kept like ushering it out the door because you know you can kind of like it'll fly away from you if you're moving. But every time the fly like went near the door, it like flew back into the room. Oh my goodness. It was really tough. I was getting really upset. And so like the fly would stop. Okay. Yeah, there is a movie called The Fly.
Yeah, I don't like that movie. I would not watch that movie. Hi, Mark.
Hi, Mark. Okay, so the fly would stop and it would be like on the wall, just sitting there. And so like I'd run up and I'd swat it, but it was always too quick. And it'd like fly to somewhere else and I couldn't keep track of it because it was so fast. And like it was like hiding in these little like secret spots on the wall. And when I'd finally found it, I was like slowly approaching, like, I'm gonna get you, fly. I'm gonna get you. And then as soon as I was like, bam, the fly was like, nope, flying off somewhere else. And then I even did that thing where like I got it. Okay, under my shorts or whatever I was trying to squish it with. And like I wasn't sure if it had flown away or not. So I was like, I lifted the shorts back. And the fly was under the shorts and it just flew off. Oh, all I had to do was squish a little harder and I would have got it. So anyway.
I'm sorry.
It was like
hey,
15,
Mark. I want to know your thoughts of Only Murders in the Building. What did you think of the show? He's in the comments. But he also loves he also loves Disney too. This is a different Mark from my Mark. He also loves Disney too.
Mr. Valentine, tell us your thoughts on Only Murders in the Building.
If you're still here.
To say, in the end, I got The Fly. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I will not watch that movie, The Fly. It has Jeff Goldblum in it. I will not watch that. Or The Human Centipede. I will not
like Jeff Goldblum, or you don't like The Fly?
I don't like the film.
There's a film called The Birds. We have a lot of seagulls in Red Beach, and there's a horror film called The Birds. Have you ever seen it?
Is that with Tom Hanks?
Deliverance.
My stepdad says we need to watch Deliverance, whatever that is. I don't know. He
I
has
haven't
bad
seen that.
movie recommendations.
Excuse me?
Yeah, I don't appreciate his movie recommendations.
Deliverance was an 80s classic.
Deliverance apparently is an 80s classic. He says watch Deliverance.
Dave. Dave's watching.
Okay.
Dave.
Is it Dave?
Yeah, Dave Pacciano's watching.
Dave. Hey, Dave. My man.
Yeah. Isn't that with Tom Hanks? Is Tom Hanks in The Birds? I haven't seen it.
It's an older movie. It's like set. I think it's even might have been done in the 60s or 70s. It's old, but it's like a classic horror movie. Like Psycho is a classic horror movie. It's like that kind of classic.
Oh, okay. I love Psycho.
Oh.
Did you like Bates Motel?
Jennifer Coolidge again?
Did you like Bates Motel?
The 4th of July makes me want a hot dog real bad.
Did you like Bates Motel? Did you see that one?
The TV show, yeah. I think I watched like the first 2 seasons, but then it was like, I don't know, it was kind of dragging out, but it was good. I just think I like stopped watching it because something else caught my attention.
Right, because you know the guy Eddie Highmore, that's his name. He plays in The Good Doctor now. Have you seen that show?
Eddie Highmore.
That's his name.
No, I've heard of The Good Doctor, but I haven't seen it. Oh. Katie. Alfred Hitchcock. Yes. He's
Yes.
the director of The Birds. Thank you. Who said that?
Esther.
Who was that?
Esther.
Esther!
Mhm.
Esther, you're my fan. I'm your fan. Sorry, other way around. Okay, no, stop. We did a podcast about The White Lotus, which is an amazing TV show. Go watch it right now if you haven't already. Jennifer
It's on
Coolidge.
HBO Max.
Yeah, and it's been renewed for a second season, but there is updated information. Katie, are you
What is
ready? Are you sitting down? Are you
Yeah.
comfortable? Jennifer Coolidge is returning for the
Oh,
second
interesting.
season.
Interesting.
I know. I screamed when I read that headline.
Right.
Mum was like, "What?" I was like, I'll be lying in my room, lying on the bed, waiting
Right.
for you to text me.
That's
Jennifer
funny.
Coolidge made White Lotus. I think she was so amazing and so funny.
I wonder
and,
if any of the other cast might come back.
the ones that are still alive.
Yeah.
No, I think
But I wonder if she's gonna play. What?
I wouldn't actually want to see all of them again. Because
Two Broke Girls, is that the one?
yeah, she is.
She's amazing.
She's in Two Broke Girls, Jennifer Coolidge. She plays like the Ukrainian woman that owns. Does she own that restaurant? She's so funny.
I've never seen Two Broke Girls, so I don't know.
What on earth? The travesty in this podcast, and go watch Two Broke Girls right now, or I will throw my laptop out the window.
No, I haven't seen it.
Okay.
I have to watch
will
it.
allow it. Because I haven't seen. There's a lot of stuff I haven't seen. Did you know that I didn't watch Avatar, which was actually filmed in New Zealand, the Avatar movie, until I think like 5 years after it came out?
That's okay.
I
didn't really like
everyone was obsessed with talking about it, and like it was this amazing show, and there was so much hype about it. So I was like, by the time it came out, I was like, like
I didn't really like it. I didn't really like it.
And then when I finally watched it, I was like, meh, predictable storyline. It was like Romeo and Juliet on some unexplored planet.
That's one James Cameron movie I do not like. Is Avatar.
For me, it was one of those big blockbusters that was kind of predictable. And I think by the time I watched it, which was years later, all of the like outstanding graphics and everything about it was no longer outstanding. So I think, but you know, they're actually filming a sequel that's coming out soon, and it's been filmed and directed in New Zealand as well.
Right.
But I also know that the Avatar movie inspired this whole area at Animal Kingdom, right? Which is supposed to be really amazing. Yeah.
I have pictures of it. I'll send them to you. Esther's saying she watched the. Oh, so you don't like the girl doctor? Doctor Who?
I know there's been a few doctors since David Tennant, right? Matt Smith was one of them, and I think he was really good, and a lot of people like him because he's got this like nerdy handsomeness.
Well, okay, so you know David Tennant is kind of quirky in his own way, so he made like his doctor like kind of quirky. Well, Matt Smith made it a little bit more sillier.
More stylish.
Huh?
I thought Matt Smith was more stylish, but also
he was
silly.
and he was more silly.
But he was more youthful, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't seen, after Matt Smith, there was an older man who played the doctor.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And now they have a female doctor. Now, I haven't actually seen her as the doctor. I've heard mixed things. There's a lot of resistance to characters that are traditionally male becoming female.
Right.
In the case of Doctor Who, where you literally have this character who can change form.
Right.
I actually think it's quite cool to see a gender bending version. I actually think that's really cool. I would also like to see the Doctor be different races. Like, let's have
that would be cool
an Indian female Doctor, or an Asian female Doctor, or even like a why wouldn't the Doctor, who is someone from like the future or the universe, be non-binary? Like, how cool would that be? You know, like a transgender or non-binary Doctor. I would love to see that, because it's like the Doctor is supposed to be this like futuristic, progressive character who like is this kind of spiritual or supernatural extraterrestrial being, right? Who kind of,
because he's like an alien, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. And he's a time master is what they call them.
Yeah.
And they're not really bound by the laws of like male or female or old or
Right.
young. They can kind of defy that to a certain extent.
Right. Yeah, and
but I
Matt
think, like,
Smith
there's a-
was the youngest one, I think.
I think
Was
so.
the youngest
yeah.
doctor.
Imagine like seeing a kid doctor. That would be kind of cool.
Right. But I don't
But,
think
you
they
know,
would
like-
do that.
I don't know.
Or,
You
like-
never know what to do. Yeah.
I actually like Torchwood a lot better than Doctor Who.
I love Torchwood, and I was watching it when I was a teenager, and I didn't know that the main character was bisexual. So I think the first episode I watched was the one where he has like a male love interest, and I was really like 15-year-old me, and I was like shook, like watching TV. I was like looking around. I think I was watching TV by myself. I was like, is this real? Is this happening? Because that was like early 2000s or maybe like 2008, around that time.
Right.
And there were not a lot of like gay or bisexual main characters in anything on TV then. I think like one of the first TV shows I watched was Skins. Have you ever seen
Mhm.
Skins? It's a
Yes,
British
I have.
TV show.
I've seen they also have American version too. I've
That's
seen
right,
both.
yeah. And I watched like the first thing I watched was season 2, and I think there was a character called Maxie who was a gay like young man, and it was the first time to like see someone like myself on TV at like a similar age, and I was like, oh, it has a really big impact to see someone who because even at that time I was being really badly bullied for being gay, so to see someone who like represents myself,
Right.
it like really helped me feel like there was hope, or it was okay to be who I was, because there was someone else on TV who was like I was.
Right.
Which is why I think it's important to have like more diverse characters as well. I don't.
Right.
Do you know the TV show Charmed?
Yes, I like Charmed.
So they redid Charmed recently, but like the cast is all people of color now. I think like 2 of the sisters are like half African American, and one of them is Latin American. And there was a lot of backlash because people are like, "Oh, it's just woke PC stuff. It's just like they've just done it because they want to be like appeal to young people who want diversity or whatever, as if it's a bad thing."
Right.
I think like there's a place for the original Charmed. It was an amazing show, but there's also a place for like a more diverse characters, because America isn't just like European Americans. It's actually a really diverse country with multiple ethnicities.
It is.
And seeing like characters in those main roles, like even for example, Selena Gomez, I believe she's Latin American.
She's
right?
Latin American.
Yeah, so seeing her in a main role in a TV show like Only Murders in the Building, which has some really strong female leads, is a really positive thing. Yeah, so I think I do think like
I think the world.
No,
go
you
ahead.
go.
You go ahead.
I was just going to say people like to see themselves or something they relate to. So I do think for like people who are white, who are resistant to seeing more diverse characters, are afraid maybe that seeing people like them will be lost. But let's be honest, like there'll always be white characters.
Right.
Yeah, because most of the directors and writers are.
I think most of them are going to be I think like the first one, like all the shows going forward are going to be more diverse and everything, you know, than what it used to be.
I follow American news and politics, and I've seen that like critical race theory and all of that stuff is seen really badly by a lot of Americans, or like diversity in film and TV is seen really negatively, which is so different to New Zealand, because in New Zealand, we really celebrate our like multicultural or diverse culture. And so for us, it's always been normal and exciting to have like Māori or Pacific Island characters in our TV shows. And we have a lot of shows which are like purely Māori and Pacific Island characters. It hasn't always been done right. Like it's improved a lot, and we're getting a lot more like awareness for like our native cultures and native people. But it's definitely like celebrated here. Like there is a little bit of backlash, but it's like not like America where there's like a massive backlash for seeing diverse characters and diverse people on film and TV.
Right.
It's quite strange because, like, for us, we all celebrate it, but for Americans, they're very resistant to it in some ways. Yeah.
That's why I don't judge a book by its cover. They always say don't judge a book by its cover. That's why I don't judge a book by its cover. Even when I first meet you, I don't judge you. I'm just like, okay. And I never judge you even once I get to know you. That's not for me to judge.
Once you know someone of a minority, it helps you like relate to it. Because like people generalize and talk about groups, but if you don't know anyone who's gay or don't know anyone who's Latin American, it's easier to like talk about them in a group or kind of like view them negatively. But when you actually know someone who is, there's an element of like empathy of like, oh, actually I know someone who is gay or like African American, and some of the things that are being said about those groups are not fair or not true. But I think like, I don't know, America, there's a lot of like extreme views, but my coworker in Shanghai was American and she's like from Pennsylvania, but then she was like, but I claim Texas. And I was thinking like, oh, good Lord, like, because I know some people from Texas are very conservative and very...
They are.
Yeah. And actually her and her husband are Republicans, but they don't support Trump. So that's kind of interesting. So, and like they have no problem with me being gay or being a gay teacher or whatever. So like you can't generalize people. I'm not that simple. It goes back to what we were talking about, how people are complex characters, right?
Right.
Good people do bad things. Bad people do good things. A lot of Republicans support gay rights. A lot of Republicans don't. Like, just because someone's a Republican or they're a Trump supporter doesn't mean they're a bad person, or just because someone's a Biden supporter or a Democrat doesn't mean they're a bad person. People are complex.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And then also here in America, I don't know if you've ever heard of it, we also have right wing, left wing too. So you could be Republican and be like right wing or left wing too. So it goes off like that. It just depends on your reviews and what you grow up as or what you're accustomed to.
It's interesting because like in America, Bernie Sanders is seen as really extreme left and progressive. But if you actually look at his policies and what he believes in, we do that in New Zealand, but we don't see that as progressive. We see it as center.
Right.
Because Bernie's promoting like free healthcare, free education, which is something that we have in New Zealand. But we don't see it as progressive. We see it as normal. We see progressive as like returning land that was stolen from Maori people hundreds of years ago. We see that as progressive.
Right.
Having public health care and like free doctors and free hospitals. We don't see that as progressive. We see that as normal. So it's really interesting how different the political landscape is in another country. Because some of the stuff Bernie Sanders talks about is like totally normal and done in New Zealand, even by conservatives in New Zealand. But in America, what he talks about is seen as like really progressive in America.
Exactly.
So that's really interesting. It's just all about perspective. Yeah.
It's just interesting like how other countries are and how America is, because I grew up in America, so I only know our customs. I don't know your customs, but you know, I like look stuff up and I kind of like learn about it, but you know,
as you know, like because I'm running a political campaign, I've always been super interested in politics. So I've followed American politics really closely. Even since before Donald Trump was elected as president, I was following like Obama and then Hillary Clinton's campaign. And I think like that was a big shock. No one thought that Trump would win. But actually he represented change and Hillary represented the same old status quo. And I think that was where Trump got his power, was that he was saying enough is enough. And people were connecting with that because they were saying, like lifestyles are getting more expensive, inequality is increasing. So of course they're going to vote for a president who's there to represent change.
Right, exactly.
Hillary was representing like the same old, and the same old wasn't working for people. And I also think Hillary was like, unfortunately for Hillary, I'm sure she's a lovely woman, she isn't that likable or approachable. She kind of has a bit of a villain vibe.
Right.
Yeah. And so does Trump, but in a different way. Like he's in some ways more approachable. So when Biden came around, it was like, okay, someone who Biden has much more of a hero savior vibe, I guess, than Hillary compared to Hillary.
Right.
Also, I'm sure there's an element of he's a man, so he knows how to do this job. Is America ready for a female president? I don't know.
We've never had a female president, and Obama was the first African American president.
Right. And even Kennedy, then for Obama, he's a light-skinned African American, and he's a pretty...
Right.
Yeah, he doesn't represent what I would say to be very true African American. He's very...
Right.
Okay, I have to be careful. Yeah, he's mixed. So I guess for a lot of people that are hesitant about maybe voting for a diverse president would happily vote for Obama because he's not as threatening. He's more like a combo.
And then President Kennedy, JFK, he was the first Catholic president ever.
Really? That's interesting because because American Christians are not Catholic, right?
No.
Are they more is it? I know they're evangelical. So
Catholic is a form of Christianity, but they are different from so here we have non-denominational Christians. So they're Christians that belong to a church, but they don't have a denomination, whether it's Catholic, Baptist, this, that, the other thing. But they still believe in the same things, but they don't pray like Catholic people. They pray to all the disciples, and non-denominational Christians do not.
When I was a teenager, I went to a church in Auckland, which has 2,000 or 3,000 members, a massive church, which is an evangelical style church, a Pentecostal church, which comes from the American style of evangelical. Really
we
extreme.
Have that here too.
Yeah, there's a lot of, and it's directly influenced by American style evangelical churches with very good for youth because they play a lot of good music and they know how to keep the energy up and make it an exciting and fun space. But the underside of that is they're very extreme, anti-gay. Even my mum as a single mum found it difficult to be a single mum. There was an element of judgment on her for that. So and me growing up in that church as a young gay person, I found that really challenging because there was some there were times where they were trying to convert me, saying things like you need to pray more, being gay is sinful, or it's because you're being possessed by a demon, that's why you're gay, yada yada yada. But to be a 14 or 15-year-old and be told those things is really traumatizing. And I remember as a kid I would pray every night as a teenager for God to make me straight, and to the point where I'd be crying every night and miserable. And I think I just got to a point where I was okay, I can't change this. So
you be you.
I'm just going to accept that I'm who I am, and if I still want to have a relationship with God or be a Christian person, that's my choice. I have the freedom to do so.
Exactly. I always tell people, be your own kind of beautiful, be your own person,
And also, I want to say, this is just my views, and I would never push my views or beliefs onto someone. You may not agree with a lot of the things I've said. And I really respect that. Everyone is entitled to believe what they want to and base their beliefs on their own experiences.
Exactly.
But I'd also encourage people to be open-minded and consider things that they may never have considered before. I don't know your audience as well, Katie, because to be honest, we're supposed to be reviewing TV shows and movies, but I'm really passionate about politics and society, and I am a good person, so I can talk about my experiences. But I will say, just because I went through that with the church doesn't mean I'm not Christian now, or doesn't mean I have faith or whatever. I have my own beliefs. I'm not an atheist. I definitely believe that there's something out there, and I believe that just being a loving person and being kind and making sure that with your actions you don't hurt others. Those are the kind of really values that I have.
That's everybody, be kind to one another, and that's what I always say.
Have you heard of the show on Netflix called Midnight Mass?
Yes, I haven't seen it yet.
I highly recommend you watch it, but I will say that it's quite intense and you have to invest a lot of time into it. There's a lot of long monologues, which are like where a character speaks for a long time, but it's
Right.
so well acted and it's so well written. It's really amazing. But I will say it criticizes religion, and for Christians, that can be uncomfortable.
Right.
But it also shows Christianity in a positive way as well. It's just about the way people interpret it.
Right. So when I watch it, we'll have to do another podcast episode on it.
Yeah, we should. I'm really passionate about that show, so I would be keen for that to be the next one we talk about.
Right.
It's also really scary. The horror elements are frightening. Right. I don't normally get scared of horror stuff. Like, I'm used to it. I've watched a lot of horror and I love horror, but this show disturbed me and scared me. And there were times that I cried because of emotional scenes, but also frightening emotional scenes.
Right.
So I would say go into this show with, if you get scared and don't sleep well at night, don't watch this show.
Right.
But also, if you're uncomfortable with Christianity or religion being criticized or commented on in some ways in light, then it's also a show that I would just go in with an open mind. I think the message of the show in the end is really empowering. One thing I watched, you would have heard of Squid Game. Everyone's talking about Squid Game.
Yeah.
I didn't like Squid Game because I found the message in the end was not empowering and it was just sad. But with Midnight Mass, I found the final messages of the show really empowering and encouraging and loving. So that's why I would recommend this show.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm going to watch it.
Katie, sorry, I know you've got your 9 p.m. around the world, 9 p.m. somewhere show coming out.
It's okay. It's okay. All right, guys, I'll be back live here in a few minutes. Jake might be back on with me. I'll ask him and see if he wants to come back on. But where can everybody find you, Jake?
You can find me on YouTube at Jake's Journeys. Make sure you put a little apostrophe between the E and S on Jake's. On Instagram at Real Jake Law. You can find me on Twitter at The Real Jake Law. And come and like my Facebook page. I'm running for Auckland City Council, which is Jake Law for Auckland Council. You can find me on Facebook. Please give me a like and a follow and a subscribe. I'll return the favor, and I look forward to seeing you soon. I don't know if I'll be able to come on the next show because I've got some things I need to do this afternoon, but
that's fine.
Thank you so much.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Welcome. I'll be on in like about 5-10 minutes or so.